The number one mistake soccer players make with their strength training is that they always choose too light of weight and do too many reps. Most of the time, this is because they're afraid of getting too big for soccer. However, that's not really a problem for the overwhelming majority of soccer players. But what is a problem is not actually developing the neurological and muscular strength to be fast and powerful, which is exactly what we're going for with our soccer strength training. Soccer players should be doing the overwhelming majority of their strength training somewhere between 6 and 1 rep each set. Now, the loads on the bar, this can be either maximal heavy sets or light to moderate reps, moving the weights as fast as possible. We want to do some very, very heavy sets for maximal strength because that will train our central nervous system to fire all our muscle fibers as fastly and rapidly as possible. Not to mention, it will help build up our muscular and connective tissue strengths to be stronger and more resilient on the pitch. Then we want to do those moderate to light weights in the same rep ranges so we can produce maximum power. Now, why is using light weights for very, very high repetitions bad for soccer players? Well, for one, light weights just simply aren't going to get us those same neuromuscular adaptations that we desire. We're not going to get our central nervous system primed for those fast twitch accelerations that are so important in soccer. And we're also just going to overly fatigue our muscles in a way by doing sets of 15, 20, 30 repetitions that we just don't need that extra work. You're getting enough total volume through just playing soccer in any other running and conditioning that you do. You don't need to be doing that when you're squatting, deadlifting, or anything else in the gym. You're just overly fatiguing your muscles. Not to mention, whenever you're doing higher repetition work, so really this is anything over 10 reps, you're going to be moving the weights slow at the end of your sets. And this is something we want to avoid as much as possible as an athlete when we're strength training, and especially moving it slow with very, very light weights, because doing submaximal work at slow speeds is the opposite of athleticism. That is unathleticism. The only time you should ever be moving weights slow in the gym is with maximal loads. And the only reason we do this is maximum strength is the basis for almost all athleticism, because producing maximum force allows us to produce maximum power as well. Now, as a soccer player, our main interest is speed and power. So with our strength training, we are going to be doing more work with those moderate to light weights, probably in the 3 to 6 rep range. And we're going to be doing some maximal strength work in the 3 to 5 rep range that is heavier and will cause some slower repetitions. But the majority of the work will be in that power rep range. Now, are there exceptions to this? Yes, there are exceptions. Isolation movements for your upper body don't need to be done as powerfully. In fact, you can do some straight hypertrophy work with your upper body, and some exercises, which I would consider prehab movements. We can do some lighter weights and higher repetitions because that will build up the muscles and connective tissues to prevent injuries. I like to do things like that for my adductors, sometimes a little bit of hamstring work like that, and also with your calves and your ankle. Connective tissues and muscles around your ankles are very, very important to prevent rolling your ankles. But overall, keep most of your weights either heavy to moderate and light, and your repetitions low, because that's what's important for soccer.